What's up everyone? Welcome back to my first ever Pokemon Fire Red Hardcore Nuzlocke challenge. Let's pick up where we left off. Last time, our challenge was getting our first badge. We picked Bulbasaur as our starter, caught a Mankey, Rattata, and a Weedle who evolved to Kakuna later on. We beat our rival JD and a bunch of bug catchers on the way. Then, we conquered Pewter Gym and took down Brock without losing any of our friends. But the road to Cerulean City is no joke and full of a bunch of weirdos. If you're familiar with Hardcore Nuzlocke rules, you can skip right over here. Otherwise, let's talk about some stuff. We can only catch the first Pokemon in each new area or route. Duplicates are not allowed. Fainted Pokemon are considered dead and boxed permanently. I'm gonna put them in a morgue. Only held items allowed in battle, like berries and whatnot. We're not overleveling past the next gym leader's or Elite Four's ace Pokemon. Battle mode will always be set to set, meaning we cannot change Pokemon after we defeat an opponent's Pokemon. And lastly, every Pokemon caught gets a nickname, so we create that emotional bond. It makes it a little harder when they get knocked out or, dead. Fresh off our new badge, we're feeling pretty pumped. We get these running shoes from our mom, and now we get to pump up our laces. So we read this little letter, mom is cool, and then we run around. My cardio training didn't really last that long because this person just decided to get in my face. I was minding my own business, and then she decided to interrupt me. That was kind of rude. Apparently I beat Colton again, I don't remember him. And okay, what is up with these guys and their shorts? Like, for real, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not even wearing shorts right now. Now that I finished ranting and putting pants on, let's move on. Haya evolves into Ivysaur, which is going to be huge for us later on. He's got a decent special attack, and let's remember, in Fire Red, Grass is a special type move. After failing to hit record for about 10 minutes of my playthrough, we catch a Spearow named Speedo, and we get a Magikarp. Oh wait, sorry. A Magikarp. After a little more grinding, Mary J evolves into Beedrill, which later on is going to be proven pretty helpful. Now let's take a look at our stats so far with our team. We got Mary J, who has a pretty high attack, Haya, Rattata, Chan, Speedo, John Wick the Magikarp. Mount Moon is our first true gauntlet. We grab this TM for Bullet Seed and of course run into a Zubat. Not really who I wanted to get for my first encounter, but I'll take it. Maybe a nice flying poison type will be helpful later on. So Mary J hits it with Fury Attack, we throw a Pokeball, and we catch our Zubat. We didn't really know what to name Zubat, so we kind of just went with Zuzu Le Pew. I think that was kind of fitting. I don't know. After naming our new friend, we decided to move on and throw Zuzu Le Pew in the box and run into our first encounter. Another kid with shorts, messing around with a cave full of suspicious men. That's not weird at all. Like, where are these kids' parents? And now you have this girl waiting for her friends in a suspicious cave full of suspicious men. That's also not weird at all. Probably not making smart decisions. We beat the first suspicious guy and keep on moving on. Grab a couple items, run into another bug catcher who's like, I lost. He looks a little depressed. Ironically lost to a bug that he didn't catch. And then we move on. And then we run into our first encounter with a Team Rocket grunt. Let's see how this goes. He has 3 Pokemon, leading with his Sandshrew. We lead with Mary J, and we decide, no, we're gonna switch to Haya. Let's play the safe route. He hits us a scratch, we go with Vine Whip. One-shot KO, gain some experience, and level up. He sends out Rattata, we switch to Chan. Chan being super effective against it, we didn't want to take any chances with Hyper Fang. And then I realized Rattata doesn't learn Hyper Fang until level 13, so we were pretty safe no matter what. He sends out his Zubat, we send out Mary J, hoping to get experience out of it, but we got a little close, too close for comfort, so we decided to switch to Haya. And with a couple tackles, we finish off the Zubat. We listen to this guy beat himself about how he blew it, collect this star piece, and then move on. We run into yet another Team Rocket grunt, and this other shorts-loving freak, who learns a hard lesson about life. Yeah, losing does stink, but you learn a lot of lessons that way. This hiker here has given me a lot of problems when I was younger, so I was a little worried going into this match, but luckily, Chan paved the way. We find the suspicious guy in the caves who's lurking in here trying to get these fossils, so Let's take these fossils from him. We lead with Hiya, and we use Tackle. He used Disable, and we were like, okay, let's get some HP back. Use Leech Seed, and some Vine Whip since we can't use Tackle. He hits us with Pound, we still continue with Vine Whip. We continue to get our HP back with Leech Seed, and we beat the Grimer. Next up is Coughing. We use Leech Seed again to use the same strategy, and luckily, our Tackle is no longer disabled. He hits us with a Tackle, and we continue to follow up with Tackle as well. We get our HP back with Leech Seed, and beat the Coughing. He sends out Voltorb, and we use Leech Seed on him too, just to keep our HP up. He lowers our defense with Screech, but our Tackles overwhelm him, and we beat him. He decides he's gonna share, but we can only get one. We said screw the Helix fossil and went with a Dome fossil, because Dome is cool, and we like Dome. So, that might be good for later. We finally make our way out of Mount Moon. We talk to the two guys who teach you either Mega Punch or Mega Kick or both. We teach Chan Mega Punch and move forward. We have now arrived to Cerulean City, a beautiful city with flowing water and blooming flowers. Now, let's take on the gym. We talk to our buddy who hypes us up and start our challenge. First up, Swimmer Lewis. He sends out a Horsey, I send out John Wick. Really? Just to get experience points. So we swap out to Hiya. We lose our defense out of that, and we use Vine Whip. We get the one-hit KO, and then we get some experience points. And then he sends out his Shelter, we use another Vine Whip. Get another one-hit KO, get some more experience points, and we beat Lewis. Next up, this prissy little girl, Picnicker Diana. She sends out Goldeen. Again, we send out John Wick for the experience. We swap out to Hiya, and lose some defense again. So, we use Vine Whip. It doesn't get a one-hit KO this time, we get hit with a Horn attack, and then we use another Vine Whip to finish it off. John Wick grows to level 11, still a long way to go to get to Gyarados. Now, it's time for Misty. Really, this should just be a breeze. She has Staryu and Starmie, which is partially psychic, but doesn't have any psychic moves. The only real threat is if we get confused with Water Pulse. So, we start with Vine Whip, hit that Staryu, and watch as it raises its defense. It's not going to do anything for it because remember, Vine Whip is a special attacking move in this game. We knock out the Staryu, and Hiya grows to level 21. Now, the ace, Starmie. You get hit with Swift, we hit it with a Vine Whip. We go for another Vine Whip, and he hits us with Swift again. One more Vine Whip should do the trick, and it does. Luckily, we didn't get hit with any crits, we didn't lose any of our friends, and we get the Cascade badge. Misty gives us Water Pulse, which isn't really helpful to us right now, but we now are able to use Cut once we get the HM for it. We head on over, talk to our buddy, and then we move on with our journey. We beat Pewter City, and we beat Cerulean City. Next step, Vermilion City, to get the Thunder Badge. If you're still here with me, thank you. I do all the edits, I do all the voiceover, I do the script, everything myself. It takes up a lot of time, and it's really rewarding. I do this for fun. So if you could hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell, it would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Until next time.